Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We are so excited to have you all here for day 4 of our Fanshawe Care series. And first today we are going to be talking to Jason, and he's going to help us through some of our housing tips and lease and other things about understanding prior to signing on to a lease. So Jason, it's all yours.
Well, hello everyone. Nice to see some of your faces and the other black screens. I'm Jason Galindo. I'm the off-campus housing manager here at Fanshawe College. So I'm going to just take a brief 20 minutes just to highlight some practical services that I do for all students, whether domestic or international, coming into Fanshawe, and then just highlighting some tips for housing that might seem like common practice for some of you, but have been, some pretty stressful situations. Once you sign a lease and you need to leave, the hardest thing to do is to break out of a lease. So if something very small is affecting you, then to get out of the lease is absolutely nearly impossible unless there's good advocacy, which is what I'm here for here at Fanshawe. So I'm just going to run through some things that I do, and then open for questions if you have any questions after. I'll also put my calendar link into the chat, so then if you ever want to meet me in person or virtually, I'm happy to do that. I prefer in person, but if you are farther away, happy to do virtually as well, and pretty flexible on time as well. So I'm going to share my screen. All good, Crystal? Yeah. Great. Thanks. All right. So one of the main components that I do is documents review. So a lot of you might be getting some leases, whether they're transitional leases or RTA leases. So if you are ever in question about wanting to go over your lease, I'm happy to meet with you to go by every single letter in that lease to explain to you what your responsibilities are, as well as what your landlord's responsibilities are. Leases are sometimes very complicated, and so I could be here to help simplify that for you as well before you throw your signature and send that back to your landlord. I'm also good at, really helpful at any notices that you might receive from your landlord. So if you're receiving any bylaw notices, or you're receiving notices of non-payment of rent, or an N5 or an N7 and N13 and N15, all of those notices that landlords can give you, then I can sit with you to figure out what the best steps are. I will say a notice does not mean you need to leave the house. So please do not leave the house if you do receive a notice. Please reach out to me first, and then we can walk through what that looks like. Currently, the landlord tenant board, if you do receive a notice and it goes to the tenant board, is still about 3 to 4 months out. So please don't pack your belongings out. The moment you throw your signature on to agree to leave is the moment you lose all your rights as a tenant. So please try to at least come to me first before you make any decisions and throw your signature on there. Also happy with communications. So if you are having a hard time trying to communicate something to your landlord, then I can come with you either to mediate with the landlord, but also I can work on draft emails for you as it is you to send to the landlord as well, to make sure that we're identifying all the key points that you need to get across to your landlord. Also happy to do mediation, as I said. So a lot of my weekends, because a lot of landlords work full time, a lot of my weekends are going to speak with the landlords and the students to try to come to a common agreement. I'm always happy to do it. I love awkward conversations. I actually tend to thrive in pretty complex situations. So if you do any sort of need any sort of mediation between yourself or your roommate, please try to loop me in. It is where I think I excel in the overall of this position. So again, please try to always please respect your roommate and your landlord, even if you feel like you're being served or being treated injustly, because it's always good to approach with kindness and following the rules before anything else needs to happen. So please loop me in. Love to chat with landlords, whether in person or virtual as well. And I cover all campuses, just so you know. So Simcoe, Woodstock, St. Thomas, London. So happy to travel anywhere to help support you. Also, really funny. I also am a really strong advocate for community connections. So some people may need resources in the community while they're attending school and after they attend school. The following presentation actually is a sheer example of that, where one of the people I used to work with at my previous role is now in a different role, and we've been able to kind of make an agreement and a connection and collaborate for the Fanshawe students. So if there's anything you need in terms of access to food bank, rent stability, general outreach workers, support in the community, please let me know. I'm happy to also make those connections. I am not shy about calling strangers to ask for favors, so please try to use me as much as you can if there's anything you need advocacy with. So if you are looking for housing, we typically don't ask individuals to go on Kijiji or Marketplace first for the London core areas, simply because there's a lot of scams happening within those sites. So we do partner with Places for Students, and so try to go on Places for Students first. I think that it's really a great tool because I have first point of contact with the person that administers our site. So for example, if I'm dealing with really bad landlords, I can block the landlords from posting on Places for Students. So then that way they're not going to be scamming or infringing on students' rights in the future. I can't do that for Facebook or Kijiji. They're too large of organisms for me to even try to permeate through to block them. So please try to do Places for Students. It's what we're really trying hard to curate the best, most safest housing for the students on our campuses. So real briefly, some things I'm going to cover are cost, roommates, accommodations, lease, and lifestyle. So the costs are really varying nowadays. 2 years ago, housing was in a very different position than we are right now, but nonetheless, housing is very expensive. So if you're looking at rooming with individuals in a house, it could be as low as 550, but you're not going to be getting an excellent location or really like excellent amenities. And so really the overall average budget for rooming houses is about $800. And then anything for bachelor or one bedroom apartments is upwards to 1,400 and up. So really trying to flex and that's just an average. There are some less, some more, but that's just kind of within your budget. There are some individuals that I work with that have a budget of $350, and that is, I mean, that's a needle in a haystack in order to find a safe, rule-abiding housing for that dollar value. But happy to advocate and also filter landlords or inquiries that you have if your budget is that low. But I will say the lower the budget, the more you are at risk for being susceptible to scams, but also the more you're at risk for not being actually covered under the RTA, because mostly they would just sign your lease on a napkin. So just trying to make sure that we're trying to have you as safe so we can complete your education, and then maybe one of you can have my job in the future. And then utilities not included. So some utilities are included, some aren't. Some landlords include everything up to Wi-Fi. Some don't include anything up to Wi-Fi. I would say that if you're in a rooming house and utilities aren't included, you should be budgeting for 150 a month in addition to what your rent is paying in order to pay hydro, Wi-Fi, and all of those utilities. Reducing rent, obviously, if you are on a budget, you will have to live in a rooming house, meaning you can't have a one bedroom or bachelor apartment. And then things that you should be also accounting for while looking for housing is you should be always paying first and last month's rent when signing a lease, and also a liability insurance and tenant insurance. Every landlord that's a really great landlord will want you to have tenant insurance simply because they want your items to be covered in the event of a fire, flood, or theft or anything of that nature. They do have 400 to 600 as an average, but I have found a few where, for example, there's a company called Apollo Tenant Insurance that's a lot of students are using, that it's about 175 per annually. So that's a really good deal. In their case, they give you 10% off as a first time tenant insurance. So if that's something, other people use their banks. So if you're like, with RBC or CIBC, they also offer tenant insurance as well. But I'm happy to navigate that with you and go over quotes and all of that stuff to figure out what best suits your needs. Just want to really highlight, you think you want to move with your best friend. I wouldn't suggest you live with your best friend if you have opposing personalities. It's not great. The example I always use is, my best friend in university was a straight, religious guy who was in accounting, who was on the board of his church, and didn't use substances or party or anything of that nature, whereas I was kind of on a different side of that spectrum. I think that if he and I lived together, we wouldn't be friends today. We really would have just been conflicting in terms of the way that we live day-to-day life. And so if you are looking at moving in with your friends, it is a better likelihood than moving with strangers, but just also recognizing that there are some issues. So for example, I was fortunate, but this will never ever happen again to me. I think this is just the one lightning strike of good luck. But one person moved in with four other people. They had bad acid reflux. It was too loud. They couldn't sleep, and their acid reflux would kick up. And so then they asked to get out of the lease. I will tell you, your landlords don't care if you have acid reflux. In this case, we were able to like mitigate a solution, but really just trying to make sure that the people that you're living with, you're getting along with, and that you come to an agreement that before you sign the lease of proper standards, which I'll talk about in a bit. But also, you know, daytime people, nighttime people, dividing responsibility and payments. I would always just create a group chat with your roommates, uh, only for housing. So you can have a separate one for all the fun stuff, but only for housing. So bill payments, all of that stuff. If anyone needs to leave for the weekend, like any communicating regarding your housing, have a separate chat for that because that's the best way. It won't get diluted with all the other stuff that you are probably talking about, like what's happening on the weekend and exams and all of that jazz. So again, accommodations. Also, it's really important that some people don't mind taking the bus to school. My husband takes the bus to work every day. He loves it. He reads a book. Some people don't love taking the bus. They want to live close. So make sure that when you are looking for places, that you're also Google mapping or using directions to figure out where on the line of a bus that might be, or if you're able to walk to campus. Typical leases are 12-month, 8-month, and I've been dealing a lot with Foundry First, which is just right across the street. They do a 3-year. That is a really extensive lease, and they also require 4 months advance up to the first year to get out of the lease for the second and third year. If you skip, if you give notice on the third month, it doesn't matter. You still have to be paying rent for the second consecutive year. So really make sure this is why document review and lease review is really important because there are specific nuances that if you don't catch, you could be really trapped into a lease. And so I'm happy to go over that with you. Does the RTA apply to the Residential Tenancies Act? And then the pros and cons of being on a joint lease. So all of your friends on one lease and then just you on your own lease. For example, if you're on your own lease, you're just responsible for your rent. If you're on your joint lease and your friend Amanda decides not to pay her rent in September, then you're all responsible for Amanda's rent in September. So that is kind of one of the nuances of a joint lease that if you're considering that if you're on a joint lease, you are one person. Doesn't matter how many of you are in there. If you're on your own lease, you are just one person. Some require a guarantor, so a lot of international students don't require a guarantor. But if you do come to a situation where you need someone to sign off in order to get the apartment, come to me first. I can't, make miracles all the time, but I've been successful in some landlords bypassing guarantors if that is the one hindrance to your housing. Again, before you sign the lease, very hard to get out of it. 60 days notice is the standard up to the first year of your lease. Do not sign two leases, please. Some students do sign two leases, and it's a really tricky situation to get out of. And then also get receipts for your rent payment. I talked about lifestyle. Like I said, create a group chat. Some of your friends might smoke, some don't smoke, all that stuff, and really just trying to create some rules that better accommodates to all of you and not just one of you. And so some landlord requirements, quite simple. Windows have screens, all bedrooms should have windows, CO2 detectors, heat and water, and then bug and rodent treatment. So if you're experiencing infestations of anything from ants to cockroaches to bed bugs to anything of that nature, it really is up to the landlord to be responsible for helping mitigate that through pest control. And so, that's as simple as putting something through a portal, also as simple as reaching out to them via email, also as simple as reaching out to me via email to have a conversation with them if that's not something they're not taking care of. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at offcampushousing@fanshawe.ca. I will say that I will put my calendar in the chat that you can directly book with. But when you do respond to this email, I will just send you a link so you can book into my calendar as soon as possible. There has been some days where I've been going back and forth about agreeing on days, and it could be an emergency situation where you need help immediately. And then that's where you can just book into my calendar almost straight away. So I'm open to any questions. I will say every situation is very unique. So if we need to take this offline and you need to book an appointment with me to have that conversation, I'm happy to do that as well.
Thanks. And there was a question in the chat just about someone coming with a family and if we have any resources to help them with housing.
So I think the best thing to do, I really believe in like self-sufficiency and self-autonomy. So I don't directly meet with people from the get-go to look for housing because that would mean that I'd be responsible for housing like, 10,000 students and I'm just my only person in my department. At present, I've worked with 157 unique students. So if it gets any bigger than that, I wouldn't be able to accommodate, but I would still try to do places for students and then see what's going on there. If you're having trouble navigating that's where then I can come in to help with you with that situation. But really try to look for that on places for students because they are like what's really great. And the landlords understand that it's a student-driven website, so they're more likely to accept students than maybe other individuals as well. So for London downtown, again, I would really try to be self-sufficient and navigate yourself if you're having issues looking for downtown. I know, for example, there's a lot of places downtown that are renting to students. So there's the Mark, there is a lot of independent apartments, the Mark on Ann Street, 75 Ann Street, but also Oxford and Richmond. Try to look at those places. Again, those are student-driven places. They understand that students are coming in. That's great about being a student is that they are less likely to ask for so much that they would ask for myself, like a credit check, my annual income, all of that, because they recognize that students are just starting off with their adulthood and they probably don't have that much history behind them. Yes, I will put the in the chat. So I'm going to Woodstock for 1 year, then London. I was checking the choices. Yeah, so Woodstock is, I would say for the smaller, more rural campuses, places for student really hasn't picked up yet because it really is kind of covering larger cities. In this case, I would say for the smaller populations, reach out to me. I can also reach out to like the facilitator or the individuals working at Woodstock to see. They operate their campuses a little differently right now than like the larger campuses. So moreover, landlords are using Facebook and Kijiji in those smaller areas. But I will say you should still also be um, questioning whether or not something is a scam, whether it's a big city or a small town. So try to use those two platforms a little more often in the smaller communities than in the bigger communities. There's one I know in London, and I'm coming out as well. So, is there anyone to help with me with housing? So, a lot of people, Western and Fanshawe is a university and a college town. There are like 40,000 students that find their housing that live afar every year. So, really try to navigate that process on your own. And then, if you're having issues, that's where I can jump in to like maybe meet with you one on one to like help guide you look for the housing. I will put this. I'll put the places for students in there. How much will a three-bedroom apartment cost off campus? Three-bedroom apartment off campus, you're looking at still paying about 900, 800 to 900 if it's like a three-bedroom house. Apartments, depending, there are a lot of really expensive apartments here in London. You should be cautious of like some apartments in specific areas, but it could go upwards to $2,800 for a three-bedroom apartment, but that's just an average.
Hello, I do have a question.
Sure.
We have been searching for places in the website that you're talking about, places for students, and I am currently supposed to be moving to Woodstock, and we have been having a challenge because most of the landlords, or rather, we have not seen any listings on the website concerning Woodstock. So we were wondering if we could have any chances of help. Yes.
Yeah, so as I said, just like about 3 minutes ago. I would try to use the other platforms as well, like Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace for the smaller rural areas, and then having conversations via those chats, and then looping me in to see whether or not it's like a viable address. There are some cross references I can do. There's a lot of listings that show whether or not a place is licensed to be residential. Sorry, licensed to be residents, and so the chat is on fire today. I'm sorry, and so it's really important that you kind of navigate what's available out there, because there hasn't been a lot of people experiencing homelessness in Woodstock that are students, which leads me to believe that that there is vacancies. You just kind of need to navigate that in different spaces. So I would try to do Kijiji or a marketplace.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And then I'll put my calendar in there as well for you to link up if you need to.
No problem, thank you.
Pros and cons of off-campus housing. I mean, what's cool about living in residence is that you have a full integrated amount of support, where you have a food plan, counseling, you have all your supports on site, just a doormat away. Off-campus housing, you have more independence. If you're somebody that is more self-sufficient and likes to navigate and explore, I would say that those would be the two biggest pros and cons for the two. I kind of outlined some pros and cons in the presentation just based on budget and lifestyle, but yeah, happy to meet individually to talk more about that if you want. I will say for residents, if you've not yet paid a deposit, you would be put on a wait list. And at this point, I think that they're still combing through it, and you might not have the opportunity to be in residence at this point. Good morning. I moved with my family to London. Would you know whether it was find out well, sports, entertainment, school system? That actually might be a better question for the John Howard in terms of community navigating. So please ask that, Eduardo, ask that question to the John Howard Society. They'll be able maybe figure that out, or at least help you navigate those questions. Last month's rent. Last month's rent it's pretty standard, in like if you're not paying last month's rent, then I actually would be cautious that there's something going on there. So first and last month's rent is just a standard rule within tenancy here in London. It's considered a deposit, but only can be used as last month's rent. And I think I covered it. Off campus is cheaper. Off campus can be cheaper than on campus. It really depends. Like if you're on campus, you get included a $1,200 meal plan. If you're off campus, you can find places for cheaper for sure, but you just have reduced security, reduced wraparound support, reduced integrated support. So it's really based on your comfortability as well as cost. You can go to residence at fanshawe.ca. That's not something that I oversee. But if you type in Fanshawe residence through Google, you'll be able to see how they describe the costs there. And I will throw the site in there, Nisha, right now. Once the chat settles down, I'll be happy to throw the site as well as my calendar in there. Great. I love the caps. Thanks for all responding caps too. I think that's it. Well, thank you. Please reach out if you have any other questions.
Thank you so much, Jason. Jason will put the contact and that information in the chat, and please reach out to him. He is fantastic. He's really keen to help. So, and now we are going to switch over, and we have Amanda and Sam here from the John Howard Society, and they're going to talk to us about some of the supports that they can offer you as newcomers.
Hi, can you guys see my screen? Great.
You just have to
So,
put it on the slideshow also.
yeah, we're good. Yeah. So my name is Amanda, and I work at John Howard Society, and my coworker is here with me.
Samuel, nice to meet you all.
So just going to give a brief description of what John Howard Society is as an agency. So John Howard Society offers a wide range of services to support vulnerable individuals in our community. We have financial literacy. We have a counseling program that is free. We have anger management, navigating relationships. But we're here to talk about our program, which is the Turn to Us Youth Empowerment Program. We're not going to watch the video. Here's our team here. So we have Adnan, Natasha, Aaron, Sam, and myself.
Okay, so I'm just going to dive into what the Youth Empowerment Program is and what we do as a team. So we have a program goal, which is to address violence in London and its neighboring cities. So the main idea is to actually go through the prevention or the intervention model. When we talk about the prevention piece, see it's more as like if a youth has what they want, why would they get involved in the criminal justice system? Why would they choose to address violence as a core spirit for them? So this is where we kind of work with youth individually in order to address the risk factors, develop those resiliency skills, and also enhance pro-social skills. So when I talk about enhancing pro-social skills, it's more of like giving them the skills they need in order to actually thrive in life. So that's more of like the prevention piece. And we work one-on-one with youth also in form of case management in order to achieve their goals. So I will talk more about that later. And the intervention piece, this is where we work with the youth who have been involved in the criminal justice system in order for them to actually integrate back into the society. So I'm going to talk about the next slide, which is more of like the eligibility criteria for our program. We support youth age 12 to 30, and we have three prioritizing population, which is more of like the indigenous, the Black, and the newcomers, which I believe this is where most of the people here fall into. And however, we support all youths irrespective of these three priorities I just spoke about. Slide, please. Okay, so I'm not going to dwell on the risk factors for indigenous people, and I'm not going to dwell on the risk factors for Black, but I will focus more on the risk factors for newcomer youth. So this is where I would share my experience as a piece of this idea as well. I came into Canada 2023, and I was once a newcomer like most people here. And when we are talking about risk factors, see it more as things that could actually enhance someone to actually be involved in a violent behavior. So the first piece would be social isolation. When I mean social isolation, most people are coming from a different country where they have to kind of find themselves in another region where they have to settle in. When I mean settle in, you're coming from a different country, you didn't come with your family and friends, you're totally isolated from the environment you're used to. So this can actually instigate a person in order to see or just join a bad, or I would say a gang, let me put it that way. So that's more of like a risk factor for newcomer youths, which we are trying to put out there. And when we talk about language proficiency as well, if you speak more than two languages, I always believe people have accent to that. So this is more of like a challenge. I could put myself as an example here as well. I remember when I first came to Canada, I'm from Nigeria to be precise, and most of my accent comes from my tribe, and also because I have a British accent, I would say. So whenever I try to say things, it was more difficult to because people tend not to understand those words. However, it might mean something different from here. So that can be a challenge for a newcomer. Also, low socioeconomic status. So not all fingers are equal for sure. Most people are not born rich. You just have to come into a different society, try to actually like get yourself back in position and focus on your goal. Pre-migration experience, which is more of like trauma, like everybody has what they faced in life, everybody has challenges and obstacles they face. And also discrimination. When we talk about discrimination, this is more of like lack of services. I would say this, if I had known some resources I know now while I came into Canada, I feel like that could have helped me and shaped me better than what I know right now. So more of like people not getting to know the right resources and limited resources for newcomers and based on status. So that's more of like the risk factors why a newcomer will actually be involved in the criminal justice system. The next slide, please. So when we talk about holistic approach, how do we support the youth we actually offer our services to? So our services are actually culturally competent services, more of like we tailor our services based on a youth's cultural address or unique needs, and also personalized support. This is where the one-on-one case management comes in. So this is a unique piece of our program. We try to ask the youth, what are your needs? We don't say this is what we offer. Based on whatever the youth actually states, being their need is what we help them walk through. It's more of like being a mentor, being someone there for them in order to actually navigate those obstacles and also achieve those goals they want in life. Like example, education, we could actually advocate and see what places they actually have their strength and weakness on. Employment, housing, and I know Jason just spoke about housing and many more. Like I said, we just tailor the services based on the youth need. The other piece is the skill building curriculum. This is more of like an interactive presentation designed to enhance social-emotional learning. So this is a piece where we kind of put out the leadership skills in order for youth to actually thrive in life. So we'll go to the next slide. And this is where I'm going to be focusing more on the curriculum we offer as a piece. We call it the social-emotional learning. So the first section is the building block for success. When I mean building block for success, one of the skill we actually offer is building a strong identity. What does identity mean? So most people just feel like, oh, because I'm coming from a different country, I need to be like people in that country. But that's not the case. If you have a strong identity, it shows who you are as a person. It shows your cultural identity. I'm sure many people here are from a different culture. You want to actually abide your culture still in every day of your life. And because how does this help you? It helps you build confidence, it helps you build your self-esteem, and it also leads to a good leadership trait. Because without self-esteem, it's really challenging in life to actually maneuver obstacles. Also, another piece is we work on understanding emotions. Most people don't even know what their triggers are, like what gets me to the threshold. So we actually provide skills that help them in a healthy way to manage their stress and anger. Like I'll put myself as an example again. I remember when I first came into this country, I had no one here as well. I moved in just as an international student. I also attended Fanshawe as well. I'm just an alumni right now. The stress that come with it, there are challenges to these obstacles. You would face them, but how do you maneuver this? These are the skills we kind of put out there. Also, the coping skill. This is a big piece I always tell newcomers as well. This is more of like you're building resiliency. Most people think, oh, the mindset when you're coming, this is a place. Yeah, there are lots of opportunities here. But how do you maneuver obstacles? How do you keep going without giving up? How do you create those problem-solving skills for yourself in order to overcome those challenges? So these are the kind of skills we kind of embed into the program to actually support newcomer youth, and also based on the other priority groups I've spoke about earlier.
So we also focus our curriculum on creating safer communities. So we go over understanding violence, recognizing the impacts of violence and cyberbullying, while empowering youth to respond with empathy, seek support, and promote a culture of respect. We also go over navigating relationships, so learning healthy communication skills, setting boundaries, navigating relationships, whether it's friendships, romantic partners, different people in the community. We also go over conflict resolution. So developing effective strategies for peaceful conflict resolutions and positive communication. So we want to empower youth through action. So we do pro-social skills. So teaching youth those pro-social skills, promoting positive social behaviors, and contributing to the community. Youth rights and responsibilities. So what is the understanding rights and responsibilities as outlined in the Youth Criminal Justice Act? And empowering through action and equipping youth with the knowledge, equipping youth with the knowledge, skills, and resources to advocate for themselves and make positive impact. So here's our contact information if you guys are interested in any supports while you're in London here or surrounding areas. We can, like Samuel said, we kind of just want a basic of what we do, but we can support with sort of any needs that you might have, and just ask us any questions. We're here to help and navigate through systems within London. I've worked with a couple international students already, just providing some support to them with finding, furniture when they needed help finding housing supports, not housing supports. Once Jason helped them find housing, I also then helped them with getting some furniture for their apartment and just different services we were able to help with. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And this is our contact information.
Does anybody have any question for us? We'll be happy to respond to that.
Any questions for Samuel?
Again.
Go ahead.
Okay. Good day. So regarding the housing, I learned I was supposed to maybe check for an apartment and start on the 1st of the month, or can I just maybe at the middle of the month, can I make payment for an apartment? Does it work that way? What is the best time to make payment for an apartment?
So usually most of them are the first of the month, but you could find some that start in the middle of the month, but most is the first of the month. I know these are questions for Jason's, but he's not here
Oh.
anymore.
Okay, so if I start in the middle of the month, will I have to make the payment the middle of next month, or it will just start from the first of the month? I don't think.
They would prorate it most of the time. In my experience, they prorate it, so you would just pay from that end of the month, and then the next month would start at the first of the month.
Ah, terrible. Okay, all right, thank you.
So we can meet virtually. I see the program. Is it required physical gathering, or how does it work? So we can meet virtually if that is something people want. We offer that. We offer one-on-one in-person meetings. We also do groups in the community. If there is something that there is a group of bunch of students that wanted to meet, we could maybe plan a group and provide some of these services as a group setting. But sometimes we do one-on-one sessions also. It's kind of what the need is.
You are welcome to use the raise your hand feature if you'd like. Sometimes it's hard because the chat is both personal chats happening as well as questions. So sometimes that's easier. So NK, if you'd like to ask your question. NK, did you have a question?
Okay, hello, good morning. Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Morning.
Sorry, my question is supposed to be directed at Mr. Jason, but I think he has left. So I am directing the question to the host or whoever it could answer. He made mention of creating a group, a forum for basically accommodation issues. I don't know how would be added to that forum. How he picks knows who and who has interest in being in the platform. What mode he's using to create the platform, because to be honest, a lot of us have issues with accommodation that would like to get sorted before we come. And I don't think his explanations did so much justice to that, because even when we check the sites, we're still confused as to what is available and what is not, and what is genuine and what is not. So we really need more clarification. I don't know the mode of creating the group. That's why I'm asking, do we drop our numbers, or how is that group going to be created? Thank you.
So I think when he was referring to a group, what he meant was if you're living in a house with a group of people. So I think that he was referring to creating a household group chat. So it's not going to be a group specifically of all Fanshawe students that are all looking for housing and such. It's going to be a group once you have housing with your roommates to make sure that you are discussing who's paying what bill and on what schedule, etc. But
Okay,
any
that's my
of the
understanding.
listings that you find on places for students should be legit listings and should have been checked. So that's the nice thing of using that site rather than like Facebook Marketplace and other options, is that they have been vetted. So it should be a safe, good option.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I know that we had a question earlier about
Eduardo.
oh, sorry, Sam, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, from Eduardo, right? He's raising his hand right now. I think
Yeah,
it's the
okay.
same person. Yeah. Do you mind
Yeah.
just talking to us about the question again, Eduardo?
Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Amanda. Good morning.
Good morning.
I was, as I asked before, I moved with my family here, so I'm trying to get around not only the school systems and all of those nuances, but as well as what else is in the community, what county, sorry, has to offer, and
Mhm.
I don't know anything else that I could provide for them while I'm here.
How old are your children, Eduardo?
They are 5, 9, and 11.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So there are different programs in the community. What we could do is when your 11-year-old turns 12, we could potentially kind of work with him or with them and provide different supports for you guys and kind of give you some information about the different school systems and things like that. Have you found a school yet? Or
Yes. Oh,
okay.
I mean, we haven't enrolled them yet. We're in. It's either Emily Carter or St. Margaret, the ones that are close by here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So
eh,
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. So do you want to maybe give us a call and we can chat one-on-one about this?
Yes, especially because we don't know how to apply, enroll them, and then I mean we did talk to a social services. However, we are not still 100% sure about the system.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you give us a call and we can work together and figure that out?
Thank you so much. How do I get your number?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat too.
Yeah, that would be better.
And our email address will be in the chat. There's the general phone number, and then just make sure that you let them know you want to connect with the youth empowerment team.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good morning.
You too.
Eduardo.
And so the next question is around a 3-month-old and finding a daycare spot. I don't know if you would like to answer that or if you would like me to kind of provide some more info on that.
If you want to, you can. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we have what's known as the One List here. So it's an online list where you register for potential spots at daycares. One thing to note is most do have a wait list. So you would need to log on to that One List and look at the daycares that you might want to have your child attend and put yourself on the waiting list. One nice thing is subsidy can assist students even when they first arrived. You don't have to have had a year of working or anything else here. If you had more questions about that, I can put you in touch with the coordinators through the City of London. If you just send us an email to fanshawecares@fanshawe.ca, I can help connect you. And I don't know if Amanda or Sam, if you have more resources as well.
I mean, so based on our eligibility criteria, because it's 3-month-old, if she meets the eligibility criteria, she could reach out to us and we can see how we can support her for sure. So just feel free, send an email to the email provided on the group chat, or just give us a call whenever, and we'll be happy to support to the best we can.
Perfect, thank you. And that's the nice thing of making these connections with those in our communities too, is there's often resources or access points that I might not have, but they could have, and vice versa. So it's great.
Which is more of what I just said earlier. As an international student, when I first came in, I just hear words from people. I don't know what's out there, right? So like if I had known these resources I know right now, I feel like it could have benefited me more than while I was struggling and trying to kind of maneuver the obstacles just alone. So yeah, it's really a great one when you kind of get to know the resources out there and work hand in hand as a wraparound support for the youth. Okay, do we have any more questions?
Yeah. Good morning. Good afternoon
Morning.
over here. Yeah, my name is Wisdom Osa. About the housing. I wanted to know the price range for the housing, because I'll be coming next month, August. So I'll maybe a shared apartment or something. I want to know the price range.
So are you looking to live alone or to share with other housemates?
To share for now.
So Jason did briefly cover it, that the expected amount would probably be to share between 550 and 800 a month for
Mm.
sharing.
500
were-
or 800 Canadian dollars a month.
Yes.
Mm. Is it good? So, how fast can I get an apartment if I come over, because I'm coming by next month?
Yeah, so it all depends on how fast you are able to find options, and you'll want to see them. It is important that you probably want to actually see the physical properties
Yeah.
to make sure. And then as far as like signing a lease, then that process can all happen pretty fast. But Jason did offer that if you wanted to ask questions prior to actually signing a lease, then he can help with that. Most rentals are going to be plus utilities, but those would then be split between everybody that resides in the house. So if there's
Okay.
4 of you, then you would split your utilities like hydro, Wi-Fi, electricity, gas, those things would be split between all 4.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you very much.
you're welcome. Daniel, did you have a question?
Hello, yes, sorry, I'm late. Meaning, is there availability on the townhouse or traditional on campus for September intake?
So right now there is a wait list. So if you send us an email to fanshawcares@fanshawc.ca, we can send you out the application for residents, but do note that as of right now, there is a wait list.
Thanks.
You have a busy household.
Hello.
Hello?
So how can I get the link for the housing?
Oh, so if you scroll up in the chat, Jason actually posted it there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Justine?
Hey, my question is, I've sent my passport for stamping purpose. It might take 35 days or more. If I got late for my classes, would you be providing me extension for that?
So there's been no official process laid out yet. Previous terms, we have been able to allow students to arrive between 5 to 10 days after the start of class, but anything more than the 10 days after the start of the class would not be an option, and you would need to defer to the next semester.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
But if the date of the student international form is deadline about to 5th of August, after that I can fill or not?
Sorry, can you repeat that? Can you repeat?
Hello?
Jocelyn, can you repeat the question? It kind of all jumbled together. I couldn't hear it.
My passport have not been stamped yet. I'm still waiting for that, and international student form deadline is 5th of August. Can I do that after the 5th of August or not? Well, that form.
Absolutely. Yep. So if the form isn't completed by the deadline, then what will happen is your program seat will likely get withdrawn. Once you get
Okay.
that visa approval, then you can let us know, and they would be able to put you back in.
I have my visa approval, but I didn't get my passport stamped yet.
But have you received the request for stamping?
Yes, I have stamped. I have sent my passport.
Then you should be able to fill out the ISF with the approval letter.
Okay. I have my PPR, but not my passport with me.
We don't need the passport with you right now. You just need to do the ISF and upload your PPR.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So is there any further questions for our friends here from John Howard Society?
I have a question. Good afternoon. Can I
Afternoon.
ask? Can I go ahead?
Yep.
Okay, it still comes. My name is Rosemary. I'm from Nigeria. I'm coming in next month. I was person that chatted on the chat box, but I had an issue with my internet, so I didn't hear what the facilitator just spoke. I'm coming with my family, kids, and I need an apartment for off campus for like a family of 4, myself and my 3 kids. I tried checking the places for students, but it's mainly rooms and shared apartments. So is it possible I get somewhere close to school that can accommodate me and my kids, maybe 2-bedroom apartment? Can I get links for that? Thank you.
Yeah, so I would recommend reaching out to Jason, and his contact information is further up in the presentation, and maybe he can help you with some good search options.
I didn't get I can't see it. I had an issue with my internet, so I just reconnected.
Okay.
So if
So
you
I'll
can
scroll
repost.
back up through the chat and I'll try to find it again and repost it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, was there any other questions that pertain to newcomer supports that Amanda or Sam can help with? And then you might not have questions specific until you arrive. So they would be a great contact and a great support even at that point. And if you're unsure how to reach them, you can always stop by the international office and we can give you their contact info as well. And if there's no more questions for them, then we will let them take back a few minutes of their day. And I'm happy to stay on to answer any questions about your passport stamping and those sorts of questions.
All right, thanks everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good one,
Thank
guys.
you. Thank you for joining us today.
Bye.
Thank you. So that's the places for students link that I went back and located, and I'm just going to try to find Jason's email. Was there any other questions that I can assist you with?
No, just the email, Jesslyn's email. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just looking for that through here. There's a lot of comments. You guys have had a lot of great questions, and we totally get that you are coming from a different country, like worlds away, really, right? And this is a lot to take in, and it's a lot to plan. And we definitely want to support you as much as we can with our off-campus supports. If you do have questions and you need some help, you can always come by the international office and we can help you with that as well. Okay. So I'm just trying to find.
Hello, Ma.
Yes, hi.
Yeah. Is it possible that we'll have someone come pick us up from the school at the airport at Port of Entry?
Yeah, so we offer a complimentary shuttle from Toronto Pearson Airport. So when you
Okay.
complete your ISF form, you would request the shuttle. And then based on your arrival, we would be able to help you with that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, have you done your ISF form?
Yeah, I've submitted, but not my date. I've not submitted the date of departure yet.
Okay, yes. So then we can't
Yeah.
book you a shuttle without knowing the arrival info.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ma.
You're welcome. So I believe Jason's email was offcampushousing@fanshawe.ca.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Yes, so basically what he just said is that as long as you've submitted your ISF form and you have submitted in your details of your arrival and whatever, it's sure bet that you're gonna get your transport facilities from the school.
Yes, as long as you've selected yes to wanting the shuttle. If you select no, then we're not going to book you a shuttle. So just make sure that you are selecting yes. that you are
Mhm.
arriving between August 1st and September 1st. And then we will for sure book your shuttle. If you're traveling with family or going to our Simcoe campus or arriving to the London airport, then you would receive different options of a
Okay.
transportation credit reimbursement.
So the shuttle will be taking you from the airport to the school.
It actually takes you to Robert Q's home office, which is on Warncliffe, which we provide that to you in the email with your shuttle confirmation.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Yeah, what if we got, maybe I got my apartment? Will they take me down to my apartment?
It won't take you to your apartment, but you could easily catch a bus or a taxi from Robert Q to go to wherever you are residing.
Okay. So are we making any payment for that?
So if you were to use a taxi or take a
No,
bus, then
no, no,
yes.
no, not taxi. I mean the school coming to pick us up. Are we making any payment for the school coming to pick us up from the airport?
Nope, that is an extra service that we offer. So we
Oh,
would pick you up. Yeah,
oh, that's so nice. Thank you very much.
of course. Jocelyn?
Can I apply for study permit approval letter later than 5th of August?
Can you apply for study permits if you're arriving after August?
No, later than 5th of August. Because I'm not having my passport with me right now. I've sent that for stamping purpose.
Yeah, so you wouldn't get your study permit until you arrive in Canada, which you can't do without your passport. So all of that would have come back to you. And if you have a flight booked or if you're booking a flight after that point, then once you arrive, that you actually receive your study permit at the airport.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Tris, did you have a question?
I want to ask about off-campus housing.
Mhm.
Can it use like Ontario photo card or driver license instead of my passport?
You could if you have an Ontario license. Potentially, it might depend on how recently you got that license. They might want a passport. It really depends, but they should really only be asking for one proof of ID.
Oh, okay. I don't want to give my passport out to nobody.
Oh,
So,
you would never give that to them, but you could potentially be asked to give them like a photocopy of the front page
oh,
of your passport just with your information.
can I ask another question, please?
Yeah.
Do Fanshawe College accept my like student mail temporarily?
So we can't receive your mail, and only just because there's no way to divert the mail to us. So you would have to, if you're having something mailed to you, you'd have to have an address to have it mailed to. So if you have a friend or a family member in the area, maybe have it sent to them.
Oh, okay. Right now I plan to go register for Ontario photo card, but I still have no place to stay yet. So
Okay,
is it
but are you
okay?
in Ontario?
No, I plan to move next month.
Oh, okay, because I don't think you can apply for the ID card unless you're in Ontario.
Yes. So at that time I have to like send the mails to some address, right? Can I send to the campus?
You can't because it would never reach us. So
Oh,
because we don't receive that sort of mail.
oh, I see.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hello,
You're welcome. Sorry,
hello,
I'm just
ma'am.
going to answer the raised hands first. So Jada,
Uh,
you had a question?
I'm sorry.
Hi, good morning. Is there a difference between the study permit and the student visa?
Yes. So your visa is like goes in your passport and it's stamped, and that allows you to travel like to Canada. Your study permit allows you to study. So they're two very different things. So the visa just allows for the travel between. Your study permit is what's going to allow you to actually study while in Canada.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Mike?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Um, I just have one question, a follow-up question to be exact. Like, it's about the shuttle service from the airport.
Yes.
I already choose a date for my arrival. Is it possible to change it after I submitted it?
Yeah, so after you've submitted it, if you haven't received your booking yet,
Yeah.
you can just submit a new ISF form, and then we would update the date that way. Or once you receive the booking, you can always contact Robert Q yourself and change the date.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. iPhone EXR?
Yes, hello. Okay, please, how can I locate my school email?
So it should be in your original emails after you first applied. You should have received your username and password. If you're not
I'm
sure where that is, or
sure.
if you can't find that, you can contact our IT support desk and they should be able to assist you with that.
Is it the same email for the web advisor?
Exactly. So whatever your access is for Web Advisor is also going to be your access for My Fanshawe and FOL.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Jada, you had another question?
Hi, yes. So my program has a laptop requirement. Is there a specific laptop that you think I should get?
So most programs don't require a specific laptop, and if they are a program that does, then that would be included with your tuition. So if you've not been told that you need a specific laptop, you should be fine choosing whichever. I think you would just want to make sure that you're choosing based on whether you would need more of the Mac type programming or the Android. And then
Okay,
as a student, our Fanshawe online team is going to be here tomorrow, and they're going to talk to us too about some free software that you have access to as a student as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Because my program does have a specific requirement for laptops.
Okay, yes. So if it has specific requirements, then you should receive some more information from your like division.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, hi. I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if you can hear the noise, but people are cutting grass here, so I'm sorry.
I can't hear it actually.
Oh, nice, nice. So, I requested the shuttle service and I'm arriving August 20th, but I didn't count with the time that we're going to immigration and everything. I only put the time that I arrive at Canada. So I don't know how long they wait for people to get, because I don't know, I can't measure the time, you know. I'll get off the plane and their plane and then these things. I don't know how this works.
So we typically book your shuttle for 3 to 4 hours after you arrive. Now, if for some reason, if it takes longer to get through customs and immigration, then you would just report to the Robert Q desk and they would move you on to the next shuttle.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Nice,
so
thank
do
you.
not be worried about that. They can always move that as needed as well.
Yeah, it's so many things that you get lost sometimes. So yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. It is a lot to think about and to plan and to try to navigate. So hopefully we can help you with as much of that as possible. So I think we'll wrap it up today, but I just want to say thank you, everyone. These have been some great questions. We love that you're all really engaged and connecting with the presenters. And tomorrow we will have our Fanshawe online team here. So they are going to walk us through actually how to use that platform, which is going to be great because that's going to be where you do a lot of your assignments and a lot of your communicating. So we will see you all back here tomorrow morning at the same time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.